Hey everyone, I'm Jennifer Ward, your instructor for statistics this term. I wanted to give you a walkthrough of our course and show you a little bit about how everything is laid out and how I think about things as I'm teaching to help you out as a student. All right, let's check out our course. All right, so I am sharing my screen of our course this term. And when you first come to our course, you'll probably click on the Home tab. And in the Home tab, you'll see recent announcements as well as all of the modules that have been released, which is at this point everything. So you can see what the course is about. Any new announcements will have a little blue dot. And if you've read something, it will remove that blue dot. You can also collapse the modules if there's too many, and then just open up just the ones that you need as you need it. If you need to look at all the announcements, we can click on the Announcements tab. The modules is also really useful because it just shows all the modules without the announcements there. And again, you can expand them or collapse them as you need. All right, so when you probably started the course, you went to the top module and clicked on Start Here, and there's a date when I want everything done by, and then it also tells you what to do, complete all the items. And then I have a list of items in the module, and I make it really easy because you just go down the list of the module, and sometimes it'll say view, or maybe it'll say mark as done. And then off to the right, you'll see the little dots. And when you've done it, then you can just click on the dot. And because I haven't viewed the page, it hasn't marked it off. Let's try to test it out. All right, I viewed the page. Let's go back to the modules. And there's my little check mark saying that I did it. If something's overdue, then it'll show a little red with a little line in it to say that it's overdue. And some things you can complete late. You can talk to me about that, or like homework, you can just ask for an extension. All right. So some other things here in Module 0, you can meet me, your instructor. Here's a bit about my teaching philosophy. You can read the syllabus. It's just a Microsoft Word document that you can download, or you can view it in the browser. Here's a printable calendar for the term. And what I like about this is that it is a little spreadsheet with everything listed for the course, and you can print this out. I like this kind of view because I like to see a picture of when everything is due. All right, back to the modules. Another task this term is to introduce yourself. Now, when you're looking at this, you're not going to see two of these because I have two classes merged into one shell. Each class gets their own introduction. So you'll only see one of those. And this applies for every introduction, or sorry, every discussion that we do in class. So again, don't worry, you don't have to do this twice. Here's assign instructions for getting logged into WebAssign. That's our homework system. And there's another module down here, getting started with WebAssign. So you can read the instructions. Here's a little note. Click here to register and access WebAssign. And then if you need some support, there's some links. Every homework assignment that we have will have its own link. So down here in Unit 1, when you have Chapter 1 homework, once you click on that link, then it'll take you directly into the homework. There's also a link to the ebook, so you can look at the book, and I'll come back to that in a second. All right, so you've introduced yourself, you've gotten logged into WebAssign. I have a little note about AI and this course. I have another discussion, our first lab discussion happening already, and then we'll have them throughout the course. And then finally, you've made it message, which just says you've done it. You click on it and read it. Here's some optional things to do. There is a discussion extra credit post. Here's some directions for calculators, accessibility information, time management techniques, but who doesn't need those? You can optionally fill in your Canvas profile and then also set your notifications. I find this one really useful. You can also click on your account and then change your notifications there. I like that because when a grade has been given, you can get an email or text message about it at the end of the day or immediately when there's a new discussion that mentions you, when there's a submission comment, useful things like that where you might want to take action, you might want a notification set. All right, so the way that grades work in the course is pretty straightforward. You earn points, you add up the total points, and you divide by the grand total, and that's your score. In the syllabus, I show you what percentage gets you to an A versus an A minus, a B plus versus a B versus a B minus, etc. But your assignment scores are going to show up right here. There's a link to the assignment when it's due, and then your score, and then if there is any submission comments for it. So this little blue dot, which you might have been wondering about, if you hover over it or click on it, see hovering over it, click to test a different score. So suppose that you earned a score on an assignment and you're wondering, oh, what would my grade have been if I'd actually turned it in and gotten the full points? You can put in a pretend score. It's not going to save it, but it will temporarily change your score down at the bottom and then tell you how many points out of the grand total you had, and then show you what your grade is. So this is really useful, especially when it comes to, let's say, your quizzes. What happens if you only score 70% on your quizzes? What would your grade look like? Or on the final exam, where was that? Oh, it's not linked yet. But on a final exam or a midterm, you can also put in those scores and then kind of project what you need to get on those assignments so that you can get the grade that you want in the class. So check in on the grades often, check your scores, look for any details. If there's submission comments or rubrics, that's the place to look. Collaborations, I don't have any of those set up. Outcomes, those are all the outcomes for the course, which you might be interested in, or you can ignore this. Assignments, we have a list of assignments for the entire course. I wouldn't recommend setting your schedule just by looking at upcoming assignments. I would set your schedule based on the modules. So I'm going to skip into module 1. And the way that I think about the course is go to the unit that we're in and then just start at the top and start working down. Don't wait till the very last minute to do this because you'll want to read the notes and you'll want to check out the book and then watch the videos. In the links to all the videos, one of our department people, John Mitchell, has come up with some great videos where he takes the slides, he talks about them, and has made videos. So there's a whole link to a playlist. And here's all the sections. Oops, if you click on chapter 1 videos, here's all the sections that he's made videos for, and then you can watch them. And if you have the slides, then you can follow along. So I would recommend going this route when you're learning. And if you have some extra time or interest, you can go ahead and click on some of the other videos that are from outside resources, like from the Annenberg Against All Odds. Those videos are so awesome. I recommend looking at them if you have the time. And then also some videos from the publishers. So once you have looked at videos and taken some notes, here's a link to a walkthrough of WebAssign, our homework system. And then we have our homework. So feel free to even like start the homework and see how it goes and come back to the videos, go back and forth, do what you need to do. You can go in and out of the homework as much as you want. There's even an incentive on the homework to do your work early. You'll get a 1% bonus on any work that you turn in more than 2 hours before the due date. So if your entire assignment is done before the due date, within more than 2 hours ahead, then you'll get a 1% bonus. And this applies to every single homework in the course. So that can really add up over the total of the course. Here's another opportunity for extra credit. go ahead and click on that link, and it's pretty easy, but it's really cool to see what statistics is really about and what people do in their jobs. Again, you'll only see one of those because I'm the teacher. I have both discussion boards. Here's another little extra credit opportunity about growth mindset. And now we're into chapter 2. So click on the link to watch the videos, look at the slides, do some homework. And finally, after that, we have a quiz. So about once a week, you'll have a quiz over the previous chapters. And I mentioned what you'll be tested on in the title there. There's probably 2 to 8 questions per quiz. It's a 1-hour quiz, so it can't be too much. And I give you space to show your work inside of the quiz, but then you can also upload your showed work. The important part about showing work is if there's any sort of calculations you have to do, suppose you type in the wrong number into your quiz, but actually you had meant to do something else, then I can see that on your showed work. Or if you're using the computer to do some calculations, you can take a screenshot of what your output was and then tell me, yep, that's my showed work. Or maybe you take a picture with your phone. That's also okay. Anything that you think can help me give you a better score, you want to put in your showed work. Some things like maybe definitions and more wordy things, maybe there's not going to be much showed work, but everything else I recommend showing your work on. And then nearing the end of Unit 1, we have Chapter 3 videos, homework, and then a quiz and a place to upload your work. So again, the uploading your work is optional because you might have showed all your work there in the quiz. That's why I said optional. All right, so a couple other things along the side. You can get to all the discussions by clicking the link. We have e-tutoring if you don't want to go into campus. Any Zoom meetings or recordings that I make will be linked over here. And here's another link to Clark Tutoring. So there we go. There is a walkthrough of our course. Oh, one last thing. This handy to-do list shows everything in date order, and it also shows announcements and discussions and other calendar items that can help you stay organized. I recommend printing off a calendar and just sort of putting it somewhere close by so that you can always be looking at it. If you have any questions, let me know. Bye.